Hello children, I hope you are all happy and safe. Welcome to this special English hour. Here, every day, we will learn something new in a fun and interesting way. We will sing, dance, listen to stories and have lots of fun together. Are you ready to have fun? Then come, let's begin today's session. Children, now it's time to have some fun. Let's say a tongue twister together. Our today's tongue twister is: four furious friends fought for the phone. Let's try to say it 3 times together. Four furious friends fought for the phone. Four furious friends fought for the phone. Four furious friends fought for the phone. Now do you know why it's called a tongue twister? Okay, let's faster speed and let's say it 5 times now. Come, say it with me. Four furious friends fought for the phone. 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 Was it fun? Okay then, let's move forward with our session now. Children, I hope you all enjoyed the tongue twister we just did. Now, I would like to ask you a few questions. Let us share our thoughts and ideas. Children, have you seen insects around you? Yes, I believe most of you must have seen insects around you. Can you name some of these insects? Some of the insects that we usually find around us are flies, mosquitoes, beetles, and bugs. What is the size of these insects? Insects are usually of a small size. Do you think insects benefit us or help us in any way? All these insects are different, but some of them are very helpful to us. Insects help plants grow. They help improve the quality of the soil. Insects also help control the population of other insects that sometimes damage plants. So, insects that are around us help us in some or the other way. Children, while learning a language, it's very important to keep learning new words. I would now like to share with you a set of words that you will also come across in the poem that we are going to read. While I say the words, please note them down in your notebook. When we read the poem, we will come across these words. I would like you to guess their meaning. Let's begin with the first word. Spy. 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 Second word, beetle. 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 Third word, appetite. 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 Fourth word, trembles. trembles, trembles. Fifth word, wattle, wattle, wattle. So children, I hope you have taken a note of these words. Spy, beetle, appetite, trembles and wattle. We will come across these words in the poem that we are going to read. Children, now that we have spoken so much about insects, let's also read one little poem on insects. The name of the poem is The Triantiwanti Gongolope. If you have a textbook, please open to page number 21 and point to the words as I read. If you don't have a textbook, please see your TV screen and listen to me carefully. Children, while reading the poem, you will come across the new words that we listed earlier. Please try to guess their meaning. Children, come, let's read this poem now. The Triantiwanti Gongolope. Would you like to read the name again? Okay. The Triantiwanti Gongolope. There's a very funny insect that you do not often spy. And it isn't quite a spider, and it isn't quite a fly. It is something like a beetle and a little like a bee, but nothing like a woolly grub that climbs upon a tree. Its name is quite a hard one, but you'll learn it soon. I hope. So try. Tree, Triantiwanti, Triantiwanti Gongolope. Children, the poem The Triantiwanti Gongolope is written by poet C.J. Dennis. The Triantiwanti Gongolope is an insect that the poet is talking about. The poet says the insect does not look like a spider, does not look like a fly, does not look like a woolly grub. A woolly grub is a soft, flat worm that climbs on a tree. Then what does this insect look like? This insect looks like a beetle and a bee. And the name of this insect is difficult to pronounce. Would you like to try and pronounce it with me? Come, let's try saying it. Tree, Triantiwanti Gongolope. I hope you were all able to say it with me. Come children, let's read the poem further. It lives on weeds. and wattle gum, and has a funny face. Its appetite is hearty, and its manners a disgrace. When first you come upon it, it will give you quite a scare. But when you look for it again, you will find it isn't there. And unless you call it softly, it will stay away and mope. So try tree, tree anti wanty, tree anti wanty gongo lope. What does this insect eat? This insect eats weeds and wattle gum. Wattle gum is a gum found on trees. This insect has a hearty appetite. That means it eats well. But its manners are said to be a disgrace. When it meets someone at first, it almost scares the opposite person. But when you try to look at it again, it disappears. It is nowhere to be found. And it won't come back till you call it softly. What does this insect do? This insect mopes. It feels sorry for itself, and it only comes back if you call out to it softly. It trembles if you tickle it or tread upon its toes. It is not an early riser, but it has a snubbish nose. If you sneer at it or scold it, it will scuttle off in shame, but it purrs and purrs quite proudly if you call it by its name and offer it some sandwiches of sealing wax and soap. So try tree, tree anti wanty, tree anti wanty gongolope. This insect is not an early riser. That means it does not get up early in the morning. It has a snubbish nose. Snubbish means flat and upturned. If you tickle it or tread on its toes, it trembles. If you scold it, it scuttles away. And then if you want it to come back, you have to take its name softly. You have to offer it sealing wax sandwiches and soap, and only then it purrs quite proudly and comes back. To purr is to make a soft sound. But of course, you haven't seen it, and I truthfully confess that I haven't seen it either, and I don't know its address, for there isn't such an insect, though there really might have been. If the trees and grass were purple and the sky was bottle green. It's just a little joke of mine, which you'll forgive, I hope. Oh, try. Tree, tree, auntie wanty, tree, auntie wanty, gongolope. By C.J. Dennis. What does the poet reveal in the end? The poet says that there is no such insect as the Triantiwanti gongolope. It was just a joke. The poet says even the poet has not seen an insect like this and does not even have its address. Probably there would have been an insect like this if the grass and the trees were purple and the sky was bottle green. The poet asks our forgiveness for this little joke. Children, in this poem, The Triantiwanti Gongolope, the poet C.J. Dennis talks about an imaginary insect. The poet talks about and describes to us how the insect looks, what the insect eats, how the insect behaves, and the poet has also given a very difficult name to the insect. In the same way, children, you can also think of imaginary characters. You can decide how this character will look, what the character eats, what the character does, how the character behaves. Children, I hope you all like this poem. Children, I hope you all enjoyed today's session. It's now time to sit back and relax while I tell you a wonderful story. Today, we read a lot about insects. We also read a poem on an imaginary insect. Do you think insects help us? Yes, insects do help us, but some of them also trouble us. In the monsoon season, there are so many insects around, and some of them trouble us. Just like you, there's a little girl named Rose. Rose and her goat, Rocky, are also troubled with insects. Would you like to know their story? Then come, let me read to you Rose and Rocky's War on Insects, written by Annie Besant. Bah! Bleated Rocky, Rose's goat, when it spotted ants all over the floor. Rose was dancing around these ants, not wanting to step on any of them. Bah! Bleated Rocky, Rose's goat, on seeing so many ants around. And Rose was dancing all over these ants. After the ants, Rocky and Rose saw beetles all around. Rocky stomped its hooves over the beetles, and Rose hopped all over them. Crunch, crunch, crunch came the sound. After the ants and the beetles came the bees. Rocky ran in circles around the bees. Rose flapped her arms to drive the bees away. "What are you doing, Rose?" asked her Amma. "We are trying to kill the insects," said Rose. Amma asked her, "But why?" Rose complains about these insects to her mother. She says, Insects sting us. They bite us. They make us itch and scratch. Rocky also bleats in agreement. Rose's Amma asked her, Rose, do you like honey? Rose answers excitedly, yes, on my bread. Amma asks Rose, and who do you think makes this honey that you like so much? She says this pointing to the bees. Rose exclaims, oh! Amma asks Rocky, Rocky, do you like the vegetables from the garden? Rocky grins because Rocky loves the vegetables from the garden. Amma then asks Rose and Rocky, who do you think keeps these vegetables safe from hungry bugs? There are other insects that don't allow the hungry bugs to spoil the vegetables. Then Amma looks at the ants and tells Rocky and Rose that who do you think clears and takes away all the rubbish? It's these ants who do that work. Rose understood what her mother was trying to tell her. So Rose asks her mother, Amma, so without insects, there would be no honey. There would be lot of cockroaches around and there would be no vegetables. Amma says, exactly. So Rose responds by saying, then what do we do now, Amma? Rose and Rocky understood what Amma had to say. Insects sting us. They bite us. They make us itch and scratch. But insects help us in many ways. The honeybee gives us honey. The ants clear all the rubbish. There are insects that don't allow the hungry bugs to spoil the crop or the vegetable. So had it not been for these insects, there would be no honey, there would be no vegetables, and there would be cockroaches and all sorts of rubbish lying all around. Rose and Rocky understood that insects are also our friends. They should not be killing them. So Rose and Rocky then lie down outside on the grass and enjoy watching all the insects. Children, I hope you all enjoyed today's session. Please make some time and try to have a look around you at the insects. Try to pick any 3 insects that you like and draw and color their picture in your notebook. Also try to find out their names. Children, till we meet next time, please take care, bye-bye and stay safe.